We'll ask Coach to make an opening statement, then we'll take questions for the student athletes only. At that point, we'll release the student athletes and take questions for Coach. Please raise your hand, wait for the microphone, and give us your name and affiliation when you state your question. Coach, opening statement.
Yeah, we played a great team today, and Mark's kids were a Final Four team, and I think ours is too. Well, we are because we won, but what a great matchup, and congratulations to them, especially their seniors who've won over 120 games and represented their university so well. I'm proud of my guys because we beat a hell of a team. And our defense the last 16 minutes was spectacular, not good. And I've loved these guys, and they came through. I mean, they came through. So we're off to Indy. It's a nice thing to be able to say.
Okay, and a reminder, no video or flash photography here during interviews. Questions for the student athletes? I go standing on the far left here.
Simone Bridges with Black Sports Online. Quinn, as a senior, can you just tell me how does it feel to, have another game, to be still playing right now this time of year?
A blessing. I'm just, so fortunate and thankful, to be with this, group of guys and this coaching staff. We've been through so much this year, ups and downs, and guys, we've always had each other's back, and we've been through some tough times, and it's made us stronger, and it's one of our goals, to get to Indiana, and I'm just blessed to be a part of Duke.
Okay, center of the room. Wait for the microphone, please. Thank you.
Max Edison with the Houston Defender to the trio. It seemed as though the game plan for Gonzaga was to pack down the middle and make the perimeter shots beat you. And of course, you guys were able to consistently knock down those shots, thus ruining their strategy. Can you talk to the ability to make shots and force them to come out and guard you?
Tyus, why don't you start?
Yeah, Gonzaga is a great team, and they're tough-minded, tough, and tough to play against. So we hit a couple shots, and that forced them to have to close out early. So close out a little bit harder to us. So that opened up driving lanes, and just was we were able to just play after we were able to hit a couple outside shots.
Quinn.
Yeah, just play our game. I think with Justice at the 4, it creates a lot of matchup problems. So guys tend to back up a little off him because he's so fast, and he's been feeling it all March, and we play very unselfishly together, and we want to get some stops. They have some great guys over there, and we just strung some stops together, and we didn't let up on defense at all.
Matt.
Just like Ty said, Gonzaga's a great team, and we knew that we would have to make shots. And last game, we didn't make as many shots as we wanted to. Being the team that we are, we're a very confident bunch, and we knew we would have to make shots to win the game. And by the grace of God, we did that today.
Okay, fifth row, far left.
Stephen Hawkins with the AP. Tyus, they had just taken a 4-point lead. I think it was the largest deficit you guys have had in this tournament. You guys had to come back. Talk about a sequence I want you to talk about. You had to assist on the three-pointer, but then that the ball where you saved while throwing it to Kronansky out of bounds.
It was just a point in the game where we didn't come out of halftime, the way we would have liked to. But you can't hang your head or worry about it. You got to move on to the next play, and so that's what we did. And it was just a point in the game where we had to make plays, and Coach tells us to be confident. And not to hang your head. So we were able to knock down the outside shot, and it was just off a miss. Just trying to be heady and get a steal in transition. I was able to get a deflection, and knew that if I was able to throw it off Karnowski, it would give us another possession. So that's what I tried to do.
Okay, next question. Here we go. Third row, far left. Go ahead.
Nate Griffin, Sports Radio 610 here in Houston. Matt, you seem to be the designated three-point shooter today. You were knocking them down pretty consistently. Kind of talk about that, the defense that you had to face, and the looks that you were able to get.
Playing with such great players in the starting five, and I mean Emil, Marshall, and Grayson as well. You tend to find open spots, and teams usually lose me, whether in transition or in the flow of the offense and things like that. So, luckily, I was able to hit a couple of shots and help my team to the victory.
Left, far back.
Charles Robinson, Yahoo Sports. Quinn, can you talk about how this team has been able to mesh freshmen coming in and taking on such a large role, and maybe the role that Coach Krzyzewski has played in that? Some programs have a tougher time bringing in highly acclaimed freshmen and being able to, I guess, retain chemistry when you have them taking on a role that's so large.
It was easy to mesh. They came in so close, all four of those guys. They were so close, and coming in, they were very humble. We all had relationships with them before they got to campus in July. So, we were pretty cool, and it was easy. I mean, Coach was gone a lot of the summer. So, myself and Emil, as leaders, we wanted to make sure it wasn't no let-off when, Coach got back. And, those freshmen stepped up, staying in after practice, getting in shots, and still, acclimating to, new college life. I mean, they've just grown up so much. And, those four freshmen, I mean, they don't play like freshmen at all.
Okay, fifth row, far left again.
Quinn, I know a minute ago you said it's just a blast going to have another game, but there you are. Everybody else has got a strand of the net. You've got the whole net around your neck. For you, for what you've had to go through with some of the teams and the disappointments of NCAA tournaments past, what does it mean to get to the Final Four?
I wasn't really thinking about, the past. It's a new year, new team, and I just want to lead these guys, with all my heart. I think, we're so close. Off the court, I think these guys trust each other, trust me, trust Emil as captains. And, it doesn't matter what class you are. If a senior's not doing what he's supposed to do, Ty's is supposed to, correct it. Sophomores, Matt's supposed to correct it. I mean, we all trust each other. So, I wasn't thinking about last year or in any previous years. I was thinking about this year and new team.
Okay, anything else for the student athletes? Okay, gentlemen, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much, and congratulations. Okay, we'll take questions for Coach Krzyzewski now. Again, please raise your hand, wait for the microphone. Again, another reminder, no video or flash photography. Here we go, center of the room.
Thanks.
Coach K, so much is made of the offense, but it seemed like when the tide turned in the second half, the defensive intensity really ratcheted up. Guys switching, guys sticking with their men, blocking out, and really forcing Gonzaga into some bad shots. Can you just talk about what you said to get them to dial up the defensive intensity?
Well, it's a good point. I really think that for these 4 games, we've played outstanding defense. And we played really good defense in the first half. We had 3 missed assignments, but they average about 80 points a game. They're the top offensive team in the country. And so we felt good about holding them to 26. And then the first 4 minutes of the second half, we weren't there for some reason. And after the 2 timeouts, one we called and one media, our guys responded, and they played great defensively. I mean, I think they scored 14 points in the last almost 16 minutes. And that's just collective effort. I thought not giving them transition points. So Quinn being able to find, I think Pangos is one of the best guards in the country, and he really pushes it down on you, and you can get transition threes. They only had 2 threes, and then we never turned the ball over. We only had 3 turnovers. Yeah, we gave up a live ball turnover the second play of the second half, where that tied the score. But other than that, we were so solid defensively, and I'm proud of that. And then, Matt gave us such a huge lift. He's been that dirty work guy, and for him to hit those 4 threes, it's like a big difference. The 2 Texas kids did pretty good today. They got half of our points, right? No, more than half. 30. Well, yeah, a little bit less than half. My math is better. 32 of our 66 points. They played pretty well.
Okay, center of the room. It's on. There you go.
Jeremiah Short, South Boston News and Observer. Much is made about Jaleel Okafor's offensive prowess. Talk a little bit about what he did defensively tonight, especially with Karnowski not really being effective at all.
Yeah, good point. His defense in the second half, and then his defensive rebounding in the second half. So he was big. You know, they missed a couple shots right around the bucket, but I think a big part of that was Ja being big. It wasn't just like they had a clear path. I think that one that Karnowski missed, I think it was 53-51 or 55-51, and we were able, Ja got it. He like bodied up and got it, and then we scored. That was a big play. So Ja contributed a lot in those 16 minutes defensively.
Stand in the back on the far left.
Adam Spillane, Sports Radio 610 in Houston. Coach, you tied Wooden with your 12th Final Four. What does that mean to you?
I think a little bit like what Quinn is saying. I'm in this moment. You know, I've been so lucky to be at Duke for 35 years and in the ACC, and the great players we've had. And you know, my past is not important right now. You know, my present is incredibly important. And just being with these kids and sharing this moment and this Final Four, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for them and to be with them. They are, look, I'm not saying just because we've won, I've said it the whole year. I love my team. I love my team. They are a pleasure to be with, and as a result, they're taking me to Indy, which is kind of neat.
Okay, far left here.
Charles Robinson, Yahoo Sports.
Yeah, I got it.
I know you said you want to stay in the moment, 12 Final Fours, but is this one a little bit different in that you've had such young guys really lead and change and get better, and we've seen it in the tournament? Are you still learning? Is it possible for you to still learn as a head coach at this stage?
Oh, yeah, learning a lot. USA Basketball has helped me immensely. You know, a teacher should learn with every new year that he or she has an opportunity to teach, because the students can bring out new things for you. If you're creative and all of a sudden you see their talents and you say, oh, you know, boy, look how they're meshing. To have Ja, to have Tyus as a point guard, to see how Quinn has led. You know, that's what keeps it refreshing. You know, and I've learned a lot. My staff, Jeff Capel has been the associate head coach, and he was with me when we won the World Championship in Spain in September and helping out. He's been masterful, allowing his personality to be in it. And then John Shire, his first year. Nate's done a great job. We have a different dynamic as a staff, and I've learned from them. I think when you stop learning, you should retire, in whatever you do. The learning is what keeps you fresh, and so try to learn a little bit more going to Saturday.
Okay, one row back.
Nick Matthews, Houston Chronicle. Yesterday, Coach, I asked Justice how many people he actually knew here at NRG Stadium, and you actually laughed and said you were interested as well. I mean, just how impressed are you with the composure he had and the fact that he didn't let any of the media or the fans or anything really become a distraction, had one hell of a tournament?
Well, he had a great tournament, and it doesn't surprise me about Justice. Justice is a very special young man, not just a special basketball player. And first of all, he's the youngest, so the older siblings have taught him well. He has, really an unbelievable parent. But his mother is one of the great ladies, and has been so good to work with in teaching her son. And it doesn't surprise me. He went to St. John's. He learned to be a total person, not just a basketball player. And he came to Duke, and he's trying to do that at Duke. And so I just think he's one of the really special young men, playing college sports right now. But he's got this great background.
Fourth row, far left.
AD Moore, Houston defender. Coach K, if you look at the stats, it will look somewhat deceptive. Your field goal percentage, you're -7, but when you look at your turnovers off of points, it's a plus 15.
Yeah.
So, obviously, is it just, were you more pleased with the defensive nature of what you were able to do to turn this team over?
Yeah, and I thought Gonzaga played really good defensively. They were tough to score against. And, 3-point shooting in college, in anything, but in college basketball is huge. We have 6 more made threes. Whatever your percentage of twos are, 8 for 19, 42% from threes. And the fact is we got shots almost every time we went down the court. So a couple of them came after offensive rebounds when you did have a miss. That's where Emile and Marshall, I thought, gave us some really good, like Emile Jefferson had 3 offensive rebounds, which gave us extra possessions. But the fact we only turned it over 3 times was huge, and our 3-point shooting was the difference.
Right in the rear.
Tom Spouse, the New York Times. Coach, there's always this perception of Duke as this machine that wins all the time. Yet you got players in there talking about how they didn't know how to cut down the nets. Can you contrast that?
Well, we have 8 guys. Come on. 4 of them are freshmen. It's the youngest team I've ever had, and no one would ever say that because we're Duke or because it's me. These guys, they're 8 guys. There's not somebody hiding in the locker room that's going to come out and appear, and 4 freshmen. They've been spectacular. This is such a good. It's been such an incredible year, and I've enjoyed it immensely without thinking about. I hear about people saying disappointments. Anytime you make the NCAA tournament, it's not a disappointment. Ask a football team if it goes to a bowl game. 70-something football teams go to bowls out of 110. 68 basketball teams go to the NCAA tournament out of 350. It's an amazing honor. And we run the gauntlet. We don't have to win 1 bowl game, or be happy because of it. We're judged by whether we win or lose in this gauntlet. And too much is then forgotten about the journey that each of these teams made. The journey for Gonzaga to get 35 wins. Are you kidding me? But somebody's going to throw up in them that they haven't gone to a Final Four. Come on. There are a lot of football teams who haven't played in one of the major bowls or whatever. We should celebrate the accomplishments of all the young men and teams that make this tournament because it's not a birthright. It's earned each year.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.